Mom, I don't know what to do. They announced the storm warning last minute and now all the students are rushing home. The flights are completely booked and the trains have stopped because of the snow. You sighed, glancing outside where the sky was already darkening with thick swirling clouds. I can't stay here by myself, but I have no idea how I'm supposed to get home. He said, pressing the phone closer to your ear as you paced around, and your voice filled with frustration. Your mom's worried voice crackled through the phone. Isn't there anyone you can get a ride with? Everyone's already gone. I waited too long thinking I would book a flight and now. I couldn't help but to overhear a disaster of a situation. An annoyingly familiar voice interrupted. You turn around to see Jungkook leaning against the wall, arms crossed and a smirk playing on his lips. Of course, it had to be him. Mom, I'll call you back, he said, hanging up as you shot him a glare. What do you want, John? He shrugged as if your problems were nothing more than minor inconvenience. I heard you are stuck, need a ride. I'm heading home anyway and, lucky for you, we live in the same town. You scoffed, crossing your arms defensively. Yeah, no thanks, I would rather risk the storm. Really? Then good luck with that, he said, casually glancing at the heavy snow already starting to fall. Though I doubt you'll last 5 minutes out there on your own. Not that I care or anything. You raised an eyebrow. Why do you even care enough to offer, huh? What, trying to win some good guy points? He rolled his eyes, clearly unamused by your jab. Please, I'm not dying to have you in my car. I'm just trying to help because you obviously don't have a better plan. But if you prefer freezing alone here overnight, then it's your choice. You paused because the situation was not easy to get away with. You hated to admit it, but he was right. Staying behind in the middle of a snowstorm wasn't exactly a safe option. But going with him, Jungkook, your childhood enemy, it was unthinkable but unavoidable. I am not helpless, you know. You snapped, trying to regain a little pride. Clearly, look, I'm not forcing you, but I'm leaving in 5 minutes. Either you come with me or enjoy freezing your butt off. Your choice. He walked away from there and you knew you don't have time to think. You quickly collected all the necessary stuff like your notes and some other necessary items and ran outside before he leaves you. Jungkook's lips curled up into a smile when he saw you coming outside the school building with your luggage. Almost everyone left and the rest were in a hurry before the storm surrounded them. Can't you be a little quick? We have to leave before the snow piles up even more. You gave him a look as if he's not doing you a favor. Just so you know, I'm not thanking you for this. He sighed and shook his head before grabbing your luggage and putting it inside the trunk. What do you have in these bags? Are you looting the school or what? You hit his arm while he laughed. I'm not like you who never returns the stuff once taken. You opened the door and sat inside the car while he chuckled. He walked to the other side and sat on the driver's seat before looking at you. The storm swirled around you both as you climbed into the car, and as much as you hated to admit it, a small part of you was relieved, but that didn't mean the bicker would stop anything soon. You looked at him who was looking at you and smiling. What? Just drive safely, okay? I don't need you getting us killed because you are trying to act all cool. He laughed lightly and started the engine. Don't worry, I wouldn't want anything to happen to you. After all, then who would I argue with? Then you dialed your mom again, glancing out at the heavy snow as Jungkook started driving. Yeah, Mom, I'm on my way now. No, I didn't get a flight. I'm with someone who offered to drive me. You said, purposely keeping your tone neutral. You could feel Jungkook's eyes boring into the side of your face. No, it's no one special, just a classmate. You glanced at him with the corner of your eyes and saw Jungkook's growing irritation. His grip tightened on the steering wheel and you could feel the temperature drop, though it wasn't from the weather this time. Anyway, I'll be home in a few hours. Don't worry, I'm fine. As soon as you hung up, You turn to face Jungkook, raising an eyebrow at his expression. What? Why are you glaring at me? He gave you a pointed look. If I'm driving you, the least you can do is to keep me entertained. You can't just sit there on your phone all cozy while I'm saving your life in this storm. You smirked, leaning back in the seat. Saving my life, huh? Pretty dramatic for someone who just happened to live in the same town. Jungkook shot you a quick glance while his lips curled up into a mischievous grin. Dramatic. You would have been stuck in that school if it weren't for me, so yeah, a little appreciation wouldn't hurt. You rolled your eyes. Okay, fine. Thanks for rescuing me. Oh, great, John Jungkook. There you go. Was that so hard? He teased, his eyes flicking back to the road. But seriously, you can't just sit there in silence. If I'm doing you this favor, you owe me some conversation. It's only fair. You crossed your arms pretending to think about it. So you're basically saying I need to keep you entertained while you drive. What am I? A talk show host? He chuckled as his mood got lighter now. You could at least try, or are you afraid you'll run out of clever things to say? You scoff. Please, I've got plenty, but fine, if it will keep you from whining. Jungkook raised an eyebrow. Whining? I'm offering you free transport in a snowstorm, and you think I'm whining? You grinned, finally relaxing a bit. You're definitely whining, but don't worry, I'll keep you entertained, driver. What do you want to talk about? He smirked, eyes still on the road. Oh, I don't know. Maybe why you have always been so quick to argue with me. Childhood enemies or not, I don't think I was that bad. You shrugged playfully. Maybe it's because you always act like you are better than everyone else, and now I'm stuck in your car, so it's extra annoying. Jungkook laughed, shaking his head. Trust me, I'm not thrilled about it either, but here we are. Now you have got no choice but to tolerate me. You rolled your eyes before looking out of the window. Jungkook smiled as he was enjoying this time with you, even if it's a little bickering. As the car drove further away and you decided to stay a little silent, while Jungkook was enjoying this moment with you, you could feel his quick glances at you, but you decided to stay quiet until you noticed something strange. The smooth highway had started to become narrower, and trees loomed closer to the road. You glanced around, frowning as you realized this was definitely not the way home. Jungkook, why are we driving through a forest? This doesn't look like the highway. He smirked, casually keeping his eyes on the road as if he hadn't done anything out of the ordinary. Yeah, I took a shortcut. We'll get home faster this way. Your eyes widened. A shortcut? Through a jungle? Are you crazy? Turn the car around. Jungkook chuckled, glancing at you like you were being over-dramatic. Relax, it's not that bad. Plus, you're always complaining about me being boring. Thought you'd enjoy a little scenic route. You gave him a sharp look. Scenic? There's nothing scenic about driving through the middle of nowhere during a snowstorm. And this doesn't look like a shortcut. This looks like a horror movie setup. He grinned, clearly enjoying your panic. Come on, where's the sense of adventure? You are stuck with me, remember? Might as well make it interesting. You groaned, leaning back in your seat in frustration. This is not interesting. This is dangerous. You better not get us lost out of here, or I swear. He cut you off. I know what I'm doing, okay? I've driven this way before, plus, think of it this way, you are going to see some beautiful scenery. You stared at him, deadpan. Jungkook, it's a snowstorm. There's literally no scenery except trees, snow, and more snow. He gave a playful shrug. Snow-covered trees can be scenic. You have just gotta appreciate the moment. You shot him a look, crossing your arms. Well, I'd appreciate it more if we were on the highway. You know, the safe way home. Jungkook glanced at you while a teasing smile pulled at his lips. What's the fun in that? Besides, if you're really that scared, Could always hold your hand. You rolled your eyes, though a hint of smile tugged at the corner of your mouth. Keep dreaming. Just get us back on the highway before I call my mom and tell her you kidnapped me. He laughed, clearly enjoying how worked up you were. Trust me, she won't bother to panic because she knows that even a kidnapper would question his decision after kidnapping you. You glared at him. I'm serious, Jungkook. We need to go back to the highway. That's the safest way. Alright, I'll turn back, princess. But for the record, this is still the quickest route. You just don't trust my driving skills. You shot him a glare. I don't trust your decision-making skills. And for your information, I'm not your princess, so don't you dare to call me that. He laughed. Jungkook was trying to find a way to get back to the highway, and it started to get a little concerning because you don't see any road. Jungkook, I'm serious. This doesn't feel right. I think we are lost. Relax, I told you this is the quickest way. We are not lost. You glared at him. Oh really? Because it sure looked like we are. This road barely even exists anymore. Jungkook smirked, but the tension in his jaw betrayed the confidence. It's fine, trust me, we are. Suddenly the car hit a patch of snow and ice. The tires spun with a sickening sound. You felt your heart leap as the car lurched, then came to a sudden jerking stop. The engine sputtered and then silence. You both sat there for a moment, staring out at the snowstorm engulfing the car. The world outside was a blur of white with nothing but trees surrounding you. Great, now we are stuck in the middle of nowhere. Nice job, John. Jungkook groaned, running a hand through his hair. Okay, maybe the shortcut wasn't the best idea. You glared at him and now you started panicking. Maybe you got us stuck in a forest in a snowstorm. I knew this was a bad idea. He looked at you with a mixture of guilt and frustration. Okay, fine, I messed up, but yelling at me isn't going to get us out of here. You crossed your arms, leaning back in the seat. Well, do you have any bright ideas, genius? Or are we just supposed to wait here until we freeze? Jungkook sighed, his breath fogging up in the cold air. I'll figure it out. Maybe we can try to push the car. You scoffed. In this weather, are you insane? You're going to get frostbite out there. He glanced at you, eyebrows raised. Got any better suggestions? No, I don't. You are the one who got us in this situation even when I warned you. You never listened to anything. As the snow continued to fall heavily around you, you tried calling for help, but your phone screen displayed the dreaded no service message. Frustrated, you groaned and threw your phone onto the dashboard. Perfect, no network, you said frustratingly. Jungkook glanced at you while his grip on the steering wheel tightened. He was doing his best to stay calm, but you could sense the tension in his eyes. Maybe we should try to find a gas station or something, you said, looking around the dense forest that surrounded the car. He scoffed lightly, though he tried to keep his voice steady. A gas station, in the middle of a forest. You're really grasping at straws here. Well, you got us into this mess. You better find a way out of it, he said as anger bubbled up inside you. I'm trying, but there's no guarantee we'll find anything out here. You glared at him. Then go look for something, anything, I don't care, just get us out of here. Jungkook stared at you, hurt flickering in his eyes, but he swallowed it down. Without another word, he opened the car door and stepped out into the freezing cold. Snow instantly whipped around him as he disappeared into the woods. He sat there for what felt like an eternity. The cold seeped into the car as time passed. Part of you regretted yelling at him, but you were too angry, too scared to think clearly. When Jungkook finally returned, he looked pale and exhausted, but he didn't show any sign of pain. He climbed back into the car, shaking snow off his jacket. There's nothing out there. We'll have to wait until someone passes by. That's our best shot. You frowned, crossing your arms over your chest. Who in their right mind would be stupid enough to pass through a forest during a storm, beside you, of course. Jungkook was hurt. He chose this way so he could get to spend some time with you, but of course he was unsure of this uncertainty. He never told you how much he always loved you, but right now he was fighting with his thoughts. When he went outside in the snow, a sharp snow block sliced the skin off his side. He was still pretending to be okay because he doesn't want to panic you. Yeah, well, maybe there's someone else out there who is just as dumb. You both bickered for a while, exchanging sarcastic remarks as the cold continued to intensify. It was easier to focus on the arguing than to panic gnawing at your insides. To make it worse, the heater suddenly turned off, the hum of warmth ceased, and the silence became deafening. What just happened? You asked wide-eyed. Jungkook's face tightened. The fuel must be leaking. We're out. Your heart sank. You're kidding me, right? Jungkook ran a hand over his face. No, it's real. We have no heat now. Panic bubbled in your chest, but Jungkook kept his calm, fake it, trying to reassure you. Look, we'll be okay. We have got... He searched through the car and pulled out a single candy bar. This. He stared at the candy bar. A candy bar. That's it? He sighed, nodding. Yeah, it's all we have got. Jungkook, I told you not to do that stupidity. Now we are stuck. No one will find out and we'll freeze to death here. He looked at you although he was worried, but he still tried to give you hope. We need to figure out how to stay warm. We are going to need each other's body heat if we are stuck here all night. You blinked, staring at him like he had lost his mind. Excuse me? He shrugged, trying to keep his tone light. Unless you'd rather freeze to death in your own little bubble of pride, we don't have a lot of options here. You clenched your jaw, weighing the situation. As much as you hated to admit it, he was right. If you didn't do anything soon, the cold would get worse. Fine, but don't think I'm doing this because I like you, you muttered, pulling your jacket tighter around yourself. Jungkook gave a small chuckle, scooting closer to you on the seat. Wouldn't dream of it. He wrapped his arm around your shoulders, pulling you closer to his chest, just trying to keep you from turning into icicle. As you leaned into his warmth, you couldn't help but to roll your eyes. This is officially the worst day ever. Jungkook smiled faintly, though you couldn't see it. Could be worse. You could have stayed behind and frozen all alone at school. Don't remind me. You grumbled, trying to focus on the warmth instead of the fact that you were huddled against your lifelong enemy. The cold began to settle in fast, and soon you were both shivering. Jungkook was trying to hide how much he was suffering, but you noticed his labored breathing and the slight pain whenever he moved. You're in pain. What happened? He shook his head, brushing it off. I'm fine. Jungkook, don't lie to me. What happened? He winced slightly, still refusing to admit it, but you lifted his shirt and your eyes widened when you saw the blood seeping through his shirt. Oh my god, you're bleeding. How long has this been happening? You gasped as your heart started racing. Jungkook avoided your gaze. It's nothing, don't worry about it. Don't worry, you're bleeding and you didn't even tell me. Panic set in as you tried to apply pressure to his wound. Jungkook, you need to stay awake. Don't you dare close your eyes on me. He gave you a weak smile, his voice soft despite the pain. I'm not going anywhere, alright? I'm staying right here with you. Tears filled in your eyes as you tried to keep him talking, desperate to distract him from the pain. Why didn't you tell me? I didn't want you to panic, I'm sorry, he whispered, leaning his head back against the seat, his eyes fluttering shut for a moment as he lost so much blood. No, don't close your eyes. Stay with me, Jungkook. You pleaded while your voice cracked. You moved closer to him, wrapping your arms around his freezing body, trying to share as much warmth as possible. We'll get out of this. You just have to stay awake. Jungkook pulled you closer, his body shivering as he leaned his head against yours. Wayne, I don't know what will happen to us next, but Before that, I want to tell you something. I've been in love with you for so long, and I would live this life over and over again, even if it means being stuck like this, as long as it's with you. You felt your breath hitched as his confession, but you couldn't focus on that now. You're going to be fine. Don't say things like that. You'll be fine. We'll get out of here. His eyes softened as he gazed at you, his breathing growing shallow. I'm just so tired. Jungkook, no, stay awake. Don't you dare fall asleep on me. Tears streamed down your face as you held him close. Your heart ached with fear. Please don't leave me. But despite your pleas, you felt his body grow weaker. His eyelids got heavy as the exhaustion took over. You sobbed, holding him tight, refusing to let go. Please don't leave me. The cold swallowed you both, and eventually the exhaustion consumed you too. You both passed out in each other's arms as the storm raged outside. The next morning you were jolted awake by the sound of voices and the rumble of machinery. Through blurry eyes you saw a rescue team clearing the snow around the car, using ice-cutting equipments to break through the drifts. We have got them, one of the rescuers shouted. You shook Jungkook gently, but he didn't respond. Panic gripped you again as they opened the car door, carefully pulling both of you out. He's hurt. Please help him, you cried. After the rescue team took you both out of the car, you were separated from Jungkook as they rushed him to the hospital. You tried to stay with him, but your own body was weak and the paramedics insisted you to go home. Tears streamed down your face as you were driven away. Your heart ached with worry. You couldn't stop thinking about him. When you came back home, your mom was so relieved. Her eyes were red as she has been crying all night, but you were not in the position to think of anything else but Jungkook. You collapsed onto the couch, hugging a pillow as your mom sat beside you, gently stroking your hair. He's going to be okay, she whispered, trying to comfort you, but it wasn't enough. You needed to see him to make sure he was alive and breathing. I need to go to him, you sobbed, wiping your face. I need to make sure. Your mother exchanged a glance with your dad. Her eyes softened with understanding. All right, sweetheart, we'll take you to his house, she said gently. When you arrived at Jungkook's house, your heart was in your throat. You hesitated outside the door for a moment before stepping in. Your breath caught when you saw him sitting on the couch, looking a bit pale but very much alive. Relief flooded through you, and without thinking you ran to him, throwing your arms around his neck as you burst into tears. Jungkook froze for a second, surprised by the sudden embrace, but then he wrapped his arms around you, pulling you close. His warmth enveloped you, and you could feel the rapid beat of his heart beneath your fingertips. Both of your parents exchanged glances and smiled. I thought I lost you, you choked out between sobs. I was so scared, Jungkook. I didn't want you to. I'm here, I'm right here, he whispered, his voice soft and soothing. You pulled back slightly to look at him, tears still streaming down your face. Why didn't you tell me you were hurt? You were suffering all alone out there. Why didn't you let me help? Jungkook brushed a strand of hair from your face, his thumb gently wiping away your tears. Your parents left in another room to give you both some space. They knew how terrifying yesterday's night was for their children. Because I didn't want to scare you. You were already worried enough, and I couldn't stand the thought of making it worse. You idiot, do you really know how terrified I was? I thought something happened to you. Jungkook grinned, a playful glint in his eyes. I just can't believe it. After all these years, you're finally admitting that you love me. Who would have thought the ice storm would be the thing to melt your cold heart? You hit his chest lightly. Are you serious right now? You think I'm in a playful mood? He laughed, the sound soft and full of affection. What? I'm just saying it took getting stuck in a freezing car with no heater for you to finally realize how irresistible I am. You're lucky you're injured, or I'd really hit you. Jungkook winced dramatically, clutching his chest where you'd hit him. Oh, I'm a patient here, you know, he said, pretending to be hurt. You just laughed, rolling your eyes again. Oh please, that didn't even hurt. You teased, leaning back into his arms. Jungkook's expression softened as he pulled you closer, wrapping his arms around you once again. Yeah, but that's because you can never really hurt me. You felt your cheeks heat up at his words, and for a moment all your teasing faded away. Instead, you gently laid your head on his chest, feeling the steady beat of his heart beneath you. You are lucky I love you. You whispered softly, hugging him tightly. Jungkook smiled, pressing a gentle kiss to the top of your head. I know I'm the luckiest guy in the world.